Hello and welcome to this edition of Tips and Tricks. Now today I'm going to be talking about the secret to catching bass on shallow cranks. Now there's a lot of information, so I've decided to split it into 3 parts, and this is in fact part 1, the setup. I've been fishing this technique for a long time. It's taken me a long time to hone it, and I'm pretty much going to be telling you everything I do and kind of the secret of what I do to catch them on shallow cranks when a lot of times other people aren't. First off, always fish them on a bait caster. I've been out on people's boats and I told them I was on a shallow crank bite, and a lot of these little cranks are lightweight, they're 1/4 ounce or less, and he was using a spinning reel. I'm like, put that thing away. You need bait casters for fishing shallow cranks, and usually you want ones that are really flimsy. I mean, the tip has to be really flimsy, like this one. Usually you want them 7 foot. I'm a graphite guy. I know most people, when they think of cranks, they think of fiberglass. That's usually better when you're deep cranking. This is shallow cranking, totally different animal. So something with a very flimsy tip and graphite. I usually use anything that's IM6, or if you're looking at the new rating, 24 ton is probably pretty much the same as IM6. But really flimsy tip. That is one of the most important things, because you're reeling this thing fast and you're hauling it in. If you have a stiffer tip, you set the hook, you're going to get really frustrated from having fish on and then pull off, because that stiffer tip, the second they hit it and you set the hook, you're going to pull it right out of their mouth. All right, so that's a rod, 7 foot, medium, usually an IM6 or 24 ton, but something, again, and I keep repeating myself, very flimsy tip. All right, now move to the reel. You want a high-speed reel. And I see a lot of people, and I'm like, oh yeah, you need a high-speed reel. And they go, oh, I have one, it's 6-3-1. I go, well, but how many inches per reel handle? They're like, I don't know. See, the most important thing when you're high-speed cranking is inches per reel handle. You want 28 to 30. I have this reel, which is actually 30 inches. I have one that's 31 and one that's 32. And I have another one that's 28 in case I'm running bigger shallow cranks like square bills and that have more resistance. I go 28. But you want a lot of reel handle, inches per reel handle. And 28 is minimum, usually around 30. Because you can get one at 6-3-1, it's only like 25 inches of reel handle. You can have a 7.0 and it's only 26 inches of reel handle. You have to look at what the inches per reel handle are. 28, 29, 30 or above. That's one of the secrets to catching bass on shallow cranks. And as far as setup, the other one is, I always use 12-pound mono. Tried 10, a little too light, especially if you're in a rocky lake and you get some nicks. A lot of times on the hook set with the impact, I will snap it. So it's 12-pound. If I'm around rocky lakes with a lot of rock that I might, get nicks in that, I go to Trilene XT. All the rest of the lakes, if there's not a lot of rock and things that are sharp that can nick it, I use Stern Original. And I always use low vis green for this technique. And lastly, I always rig up all mine with a Dualock snap. Most of it's because I'm switching a lot of baits, but even if I have a bait they're locked into, it just runs better with it. It gives it better action, it loosens it up. And so always hook it with a Dualock snap. I usually use size 1 or size 2. I never tie it to actually a split ring. So there you go. That's part 1 of the secret to catching bass on shallow cranks. Flimsy rod, 7 foot. You want a really flexy tip. High-speed reel, 28 or above on the inches per reel handle, and 12-pound monoline. I hope this helps. Until next time. All right. After the FLW, I'm coming here to shore, and I catch this big boy. It's probably about a 4.5, might be a 5. See what happens when it's not tournament day. It's so easy to I just threw out there in this little spot about 5 feet from shore and caught this big boy on a little 4-inch gotcha stick, flicking it just the way I was in the tournament. Well, at least I did catch one big Clear Lake bass after the tournament.